What's going on, champs and champets? It's FireMonkey here, currently in some very intense combat in Zenless Zone 0, but in today's little bit of a commentary channel video, I want to talk about this amazing game that I had the gracious ability to get my grubby little paws on the beta for, and how it's something that I am super duper excited for, right? It's a game that I'm super just nerdy about and everything else, and you'll see why here in a minute. Now, to kind of explain the gameplay loop and everything else, this is a Hoyoverse game, and if you know anything about Hoyoverse, they have such a unique art style going on with all the games they make that really captivates me. And I really wish I had a game that I was able to play by them that lasted forever or whatnot, and a sense of how my enjoyment was for it. And I think that this one right here is going to be the one, because while it has the Hoyoverse art style, it is also a roguelike game in the sense that everything you do in terms of different missions will sometimes be linear in some ways, but in other missions it won't be linear, and instead, like we're playing right now, which is a zero zone, we will be able to go ahead and have completely randomized items, different randomized resumes, which is little upgrades you're able to find in some different areas, and pathways to take to make every single fight a little bit different than the last one here. And right now we are actually on one of the final fights for this stage that will allow us to go to the boss fight, and we'll be able to fight a very big creature. So I thought, do a little bit of live commentary doing this fight, and then give you a little bit of a review towards the very end regarding the game, my opinions on it and everything else, and why I am having such a nerd moment, being like, oh my god, it's so cool, and everything. And that's really kind of what I gotta mention here. A lot of stuff we're actually going to be talking about and showcasing with this video are stuff that I'm just sitting here and I'm absolutely nerding about, to the point where you could think of me of a nerd emoji being like, hey guys, so let me tell you about this really cool thing. It's a game called Zenless Zone 0. Now, was that skit a little bit weird? Sure, maybe. We might have cringed a little bit from it, but at the same time, it's how I feel when it comes to this game. And that's just because of how passionate I am about it, because it's been something that I've been following since it was originally announced, back before I even knew what the gameplay style was going to be, or how combat was, and it was something that I just thought looked visually pleasing. So seeing that it also has one of my favorite genres in gaming as well, makes me super duper happy. Now, I actually ended up pausing the boss fight, not really thinking much of it. I thought there was going to be another boss after that, because the original time I did this zone off camera was a completely different boss. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense of what's going on here. Now that we've done all that, though, we have a lot of different areas to go. We have this right here, which I've actually never touched before, but gives us a random item, so we can either restore health, get 500 coins, or reduce pressure points. We also have the option to restore... Well, I already said that. I don't know why I'm going over that again. I'm thinking, do I want to reduce the pressure, or do I want to just heal up the squad? Let's reduce the pressure a little bit. Since that goes back to 0, it doesn't get rid of our debuff, so we kind of just got to deal with the debuff here. What do we got? We got the guide's flag, which means that when we enter combat, the squad leader will deal 15% more damage. Alright, let's grab that. I don't mind that one. Check out the shop here. What do we got? We have the normal exchange, where we're able to get ourselves the homemade spiked mace, dodging being easier to trigger, all the type of stuff, or we have the risky transaction, which is a corruption. Now, I've actually never tried doing the risky transaction, but I'm kind of curious. So let's go ahead and give it the Scarlet Goblet and see what actually ends up going down here. How is that risky? Does it mean, I mean, I don't... Oh no, that's where it's risky! When your pressure is overloaded, all squad members lose HP. I was not prepared for that. I didn't know that's what it meant by risky. Okay, that makes it a little bit harder, but I mean, at the same time, I think we're towards the end, so hopefully it should be fine. Hoping and praying, at least, Now, if we go ahead and look here, we have a lot of different little charms going on, or I guess, the resumes, whatever they're called, that are basically little upgrade stuff, such as, giving us 15%, attack reduction on enemies and all that type of stuff. So let's go ahead, go over here, and get ourselves a few more upgrades before we go through. Now, this has a little bit of a blinking icon on the final 2 upgrades, which means that they're fusions, meaning they can be combined with other stuff to make them a little bit more powerful. So let's go ahead and do it on the very right one, because I don't think I've seen that fusion as of yet. And it didn't fuse. I guess maybe because we have too many on us right now, or maybe too many fusions. I mean, alright, well, whatever the reason, we still got that though, so let's just go ahead and go downwards here and see what's on the next stage, or if this is the actual boss fight when I thought I just did it or something along those lines. That's the thing about this whole entire game, especially with the official roguelike system, is it can be very... Oh, this is the boss fight. Okay, I thought I had skipped over it, and I was like, well, that kind of made for a sucky video. But now I understand. We got an actual boss, and look at that deflect. Ah, that deflect is just animations and attacks and all that type of stuff are just so sick to see. And I always switch characters instead of actually trying to, you know, do a normal dodge. So maybe that's a little weird on my part, you know, a little different of a way of doing it than normal. At the same time, you know, I'm enjoying it, I'm vibing with it. I think the best thing we can really do right now is, come on, get the attack all the way to the top, and special ability. Look at the animation. The animation for whenever you're using these, like, EX ability, I think they're called, or, you know, I just call them special abilities, looks so sick. And then chaining it with different characters just makes it so much sicker, making it so you're just going all around dealing damage non-stop all their days, so your damage counter is actually going to be multiplied on them. Is just so cool to see. And then after you beat the first phase of the boss, we have this unique little animation here, which you actually kind of see in the story for the first time, where the boss, dun dun dun, is a much more powerful being. Now this one, we still have the option to dodge whenever you see those little, like, lights going on. Those are little dodge points that, you know, sometimes I mess up and don't actually hit, but other times I do properly hit, and it means that if you dodge it, you have these little slow motion effects and everything else where you're able to kind of go and just attack the enemy. And it's all building up that daze counter on the top right, which is currently 85%. Once it hits 100, then the boss is basically just in a spot where it won't actually attack you at all. So that's the damage point. That's the part where you're putting in all the DPS to actually make sure you can get the boss done and out of the zone. So let's actually go ahead here and use our super ability, or I guess our EX ability, and let's absolutely demolish this guy. Let's go through both phases here. While we have 200% damage as a buff, freeze him. Now he's going to be undazed, so he's going to be doing normal damage to us and everything else. And let's just, there we go. We got it. You can tell right when it froze right there that we had finished it. And man, it just feels so good. It hits so hard, and it's just absolutely amazing to see the unique aesthetic going on here. Now, of course, since it is the roguelike system, I've already done this one once. I don't think I'm actually going to earn any internet level or anything, but it is something where you're able to earn some different sample rewards and, you know, different items here and there to use for the main story and side missions. Because, of course, that's not the main part of the game or anything, but it is a part of the game that you're able to actually see, and it's a part of the game that I could see myself playing non-stop. And, of course, by doing that, we actually have some bonus rewards right here, such as, you know, some credits, all that type of stuff. So I'll go ahead and claim those. It resets every week, so, you know, gives you a reason to grind those. And we actually ended up earning some internet level from that. And let's talk about the art style of the game now. Now that we've actually seen the gameplay and why I absolutely love it, let's go ahead over here and talk about some of the really cool things. So as I mentioned, I love the Hoyoverse art style, but I feel this game makes it a very nerdy version, and it's something that I absolutely adore. I mean, as I've gone through the missions and story and stuff, I've only done the 3 main stories. There are more I could do, but I haven't done them as of yet. And you can go over to the commission log and everything and view like the previous story, movies, or even specific scenes as if they were an actual movie that you would be able to pop into a, you know, a VHS player or whatever else and watch. I mean, as we go here, this is the starting one. It actually opens up the whole entire movie thing. We can rewatch specific cinematics. We can actually play different missions and everything where it tells you your recommended level. We can view the details on the mission, you know, that tell us the description of it normally and everything else. And I mean, even if we go over here, one thing I'm going to do for you guys is go to the very end here and show you how characterized everyone is by showing the big guy cinematic, because this really shows why I love Billy so much, and also shows how they really let themselves just be expressive with everything that goes on with this game. So I'll shut up and let this actually play.
So empty out here. Are we sure that big guy's really around?
Not sure about the big guy. Plenty of little guys, though.
It must be hiding somewhere.
Huh? The beasties are running away.
Almost here.
The monster?
The theme song.
What?
The bad guy's theme always plays before the final battle.
Don't worry, Andy. I've mastered all the rules for a surefire win from the Starlight Knights. You gotta break the rules when fighting bad guys. Open things up with a flying kick. Take them out in less than 10 seconds, and they won't even have time to play their theme song.
Behind you.
My predictions were unpredicted.
You big dummy! The only thing they'd be playing for you are the credits!
Don't tell me this guy's a fan of the Starlight Knights, too!
Now, of course, it is a very interesting cinematic, and it's actually going to put us in that boss fight, which is why I'm just going to exit it or anything, but it's something that is just super hyped to actually do, right? It is just so, like, characterized, I would say. All the characters, such as Billy and everyone else, have their own personalities, as long as they're, as well as, you know, their actual design and aesthetics and everything else, that really bring them to life in ways that I never thought would have been possible. And I mean, even if we go out of here and just look at the movies in the actual movie store we're in, which is kind of like our home, we can see how they have a ton of different genres and everything, and how it's all just kind of like aesthetically pleasing in that way. If we go ahead and talk over to our Bang Book guy right here, or Bang Boo 18 right at the counter, we can see an HD version of some of those movies, and we can even see things such as the Everything is Fine dog on the actual movie we have selected, which is a documentary. Next to it, we have Starlight Night, which is an adventure genre. We have Don't Touch, which is actually a fantasy genre and all that type of stuff, going through with different fantasies and, you know, different genres for you to actually go and see as you continue running an actual in-game store of, you know, just like a movie store, right? You know, a whole entire video store and everything else, and it's super cool to see. I mean, even if we go ahead and press like Q and everything, we have a phone with different characters that have their own little icons and everything. For example, Billy is using his Starlight Night icon. We have groups, which actually have not unlocked anyone in the group section yet. If we actually go to our menu and everything, you know, we have a very aesthetically pleasing menu. We have the internet, which is basically kind of like social media, and it all is like really sick. Now, one thing I wish I could do is, for example, if I saw like a really cool art style or something like this up here, I wish I could go ahead, click it, right click it or something, and actually download and save that image locally on my computer, because it is really, really cool to see all these different things. You have actual comments you can reply to stuff with. Now, not everything you can reply to, but some things, which are mainly, you know, like actual story missions you're able to reply with. You have your schedule, where you're able to see all the missions you can currently do, either in the morning time, in the evening time, or at midnight time, and you can see the rewards and everything for them as well. You have the signal search, which is your whole entire gacha system. Now, we have two little gacha pulls we can do here to show you the animation, which I think is really sick, so I'll let those go ahead and play out real quick for us, which these aren't going to be like actual characters. These right here are just going to be little upgrade pieces, and we get ourselves one upgrade. I love how it like transforms though to showing the upgrade piece and like the name and everything else going on with it. So let's do another single search right here. I don't have enough to do like a 10 pull or anything. I've been using those off camera, but this has been a game that I absolutely love because it has a super unique art style. It's such a nerdy game for someone like me, and it uses the roguelike mechanics that I absolutely adore. But also, actually, wait a minute, you know, now that I've done some pulls, I noticed a little bip bip icon, which means that we have someone texting me. So as we can see right here, we have their message, which is from the Fisherman, which is someone I've actually not spoken with in the game at all yet, which says, "Thank you for accepting my commission. I heard this weird story from my boss. It must be true. I swear it on my boss's life." And then it shows that, you know, we're currently in the evening time. You know, we're able to select different times for this, but we're able to select it for midnight, and we can add that commission. So whenever it's midnight in game, we can go ahead and do that. And the in-game time kind of is like very fluid, where it changes as you play, so you don't have to actually wait for it to be nighttime in real life in order for you to go about stuff. But I mean, as we go around here, we have a super lively city with a lot of different things you can interact with, a lot of different stores, personalities, characters, and I mean, even over here we have Mr. Panda. I can't actually interact with him anymore. Hold on, wait, if I look at him properly, can I? Nope, I guess not. We have the coffee shop we can go into, but you used to be able to interact with this guy, and even though he isn't really anything you can say, you can like observe what he's doing over there at the table, which I thought is a little interesting. But of course, you know, this game for someone as nerdy as me isn't just going to be roguelike, oh, you know, the noodle shop or anything else, but it's also got to be the arcade. Let's go in here real quick and let me show you guys something really cool about it, which is this right here. We have two different main arcade games you can play, which is Soul Hounds 3 and Snake Duel. And I'm going to just quickly play these. I'm not going to play like a full match of them or anything, but they're like mini games inside of a game for a gameception that really allow you to have this unique aesthetic going on as you're playing, allow you to kind of figure out if you want to play this specific game, if you're like bored of the main system or whatever else, you know, bored of a gameplay loop, and it allows you just kind of have a lot of fun in that sense. Oh god. Oh, we are saved. Okay. Woo! Am I safe right here? I'm safe. Okay, good. But yeah, you know, it's really cool to see how all these different things come to be and how they actually make the game and continue, you know, designing it in a certain way where it isn't just Hoyoverse as like a game or whatever, you know, it isn't just Zenless Zone Zero on the surface in terms of how it plays, but it's also this just like nerd fest of a game that I enjoy, right? It has all these things that I absolutely sit here and I'm like, oh, it's super cool, I love the aesthetic of, and it's something that I'm going to keep playing, and you know, I'm definitely going to play non-stop basically because of all the cool little gimmicks and goodies here and there and all the different character designs and personalities and everything. that really make this game a unique experience that is just super duper one of a kind. Now, of course, we're not here to play Snake, but I also got an achievement, so now I want to play it a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and continue a little bit more, get some Snake upgrade pieces. Come on, how are we doing? We're a very long boy. Oh, okay. Woo! That was close. And don't attack me. No. You know what? Nope. I'm sorry, bud. Nope. What do you think you're doing? Nope. That's right. Get comboed on. Okay. Woo! You know what? This is the video now. I was like, I'm not gonna play Snake the entire recording, but this is the best Snake game I've played so far, and I don't want to end it, so now I'm gonna continue it until we actually die here. And what is this upgrade? Oh! Okay. We get like a superstar or something. We can just crash into stuff and eliminate them. Hold on. Get over here. Yeah, look at that. We are the Lord Snake. You know, this is everything I ever wanted and more now. I originally was just like, yeah, roguelike. Now I'm like, yeah, Snake. This is why I wanted the game. This is why I'm in the beta. It's to slither around. Woo! Right? You know, it's like, I'm being a little ridiculous with it, but it's definitely something that is just really fun to kind of, you know, play with as like a sense of like a gimmick or whatever else. And it's a fun little side thing to do if you ever get bored, right? So sadly we died there, but we got a pretty decent high score, higher than I've ever gotten so far from this. And by playing it, we actually also get achievements, which can give us a little benefits in order to get some actual roles a little bit quicker. So we could potentially get some new agents to actually play with. And that's another thing to really mention about this game, right? Is the agents, the aesthetic on all of them is so unique, and every single character has their own personality, which is super cool. And I mean, you know, especially like this one right here, Sokaku, they're like my favorite character just because their aesthetic and, you know, how they attack and everything, it's just so cool. And I mean, you know, you have other characters like Ben right here, who is just a giant bear, which I think is cool. You have Anton, you have Billy, who is just a super personality-based guy. You have other characters who are just, you know, like super unique in their like aesthetics and everything else, and, you know, do some real damage as well. And you can upgrade their little abilities, such as this. We can unlock a core skill for them using some of our Denny's currency. And in terms of everything about this game combined, from the aesthetics to the mini games to the main game itself to the characters, the personality, the roguelike mechanics, and everything, if you're someone like me who loves this art style and you love roguelike game mechanics with special little mini games here and there, you'll absolutely love this game. You'll love Zenless Zone Zero, and it's something that I so hope that I'm able to play for as long as possible, including, like, you know, when the beta ends, right? I know when the beta ends, I'm going to be going through withdrawals like, please, come back to me, baby, please, I need you. But for someone like me who really likes this game based on this actual example right here that I've showcased to you guys, there is a pre-registration link in the pinned comment down below and in the description that you can click on in order to pre-register for this game. Clicking that link is going to be something that takes you directly to the website you need to go to, but it's something that I would highly recommend you guys to do. Even if you're someone who doesn't know if this might be your type of game style, definitely still try it out, because at the exact same time, it doesn't hurt to pre-register for the game and at least play it for a little bit. Because if you don't like the game, since it's a free game to play, just don't play it, right? You can go ahead and hop off, play whatever other game, but yeah, it is something that I'm super excited for, and I love this mechanic. I love everything about it. So until next time, hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. If you did, consider subscribing and support the content I create, and I will catch you guys next time with another upload. Peace out.